So yesterday we discussed monomials with one term. Binomials have two terms. Trinomials have three. We also went over the degree of a polynomial. That's when you add up the exponents on the variables. We did standard form and leading coefficient. Okay, we finished off with example 3, which is going to be combining like terms. You're looking for letters that have the same exponents to be combined. So we finished with 3a, so we're on 3b now. Okay, this one is not pretty looking. It ends up looking like this. So there's lots of p's and q's. P squared q cubed minus 4 p to the 5th q to the 4th minus 4 p squared q cubed plus 3 p to the 5th. Sorry, I have a sneeze coming. 3p to the 5th q to the 4th. It's gonna go away. Okay. First thing I would do is chunk all your terms, or make a mark where each term is. So every time you get to a plus or minus sign, that's a new term. So there's 4 terms. You're looking for like terms. So things that have the same letter raised to the exact same exponent. So p to the 2nd, q to the 3rd. I'm just looking for any other ones that also say p2, q3. p2, q3, we have 2 of them. So these 2 are like terms. I also am going to see if the other ones go together. Here I have p to the 5th, q to the 4th. This one also says p to the 5th, q to the 4th. So that means these 2 are like terms. So like terms have to have the same variables raised to the same power. Now we're going to combine our like terms. When I write my answer, I want to write it in standard form always. So I need to find the biggest degree. This first one that has p2, q3, that's a degree of 5, because you add up the exponents. The next term has a degree of 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. So I'm going to do the p to the 5th, q to the 4th first, because that has a higher degree, because 9 is bigger than 5. So I'm going to do negative 4 p to the 5, q to the 4th, and then I have positive 3 of them. So if I have negative 4 of these, and I have positive 3 of these. So your p to the 5, q to the 4, that doesn't change. You're not adding anything, you're not doing anything there. You're looking at just the coefficients. If I have a negative 4 and a positive 3 altogether, I have negative 1 of that term. And that term is the p to the 5, q to the 4th. So that doesn't change at all. So I used this and I used this. And then I'm going to combine my p squared q cubes. So here on this first one, there's one of them. Since there's no number in front, there's really one. If I have one of these terms and I have negative 4 of these terms, 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And it's negative 3 of the p squared q cubes. If this is a multiple choice test, I would not write your answer like this. So you have to be able to know that if you see negative 1, that's the same as this answer. Negative p to the 5th, q to the 4th, minus 3p squared q cubed. So if it's a multiple choice, this is how I write it correctly, because we don't write the 1 in front. If it's a test where you're just writing it down for me, I'm okay with that. You can write the minus 1. It's not wrong. It's just mathematically, we don't put it, it's just not needed. So again, the p to the fifth, q to the fourth, that doesn't change. The only thing that you're doing is combining is the coefficients. Okay, the on your owns we're actually going to do together because my last class really struggled on these, so I'm going to do them with you. So if you're looking at a copy of the notes, it says on your own, but let's do these together. Okay, number 7, we're combining like terms, and this one also has a bunch of p's and q's. 3p squared q squared minus 3p squared q cubed plus 4p squared q cubed minus 3p squared q squared plus pq. Again, I'm going to read that again, so check yours. 3p squared q squared minus 3p squared q cubed plus 4p squared q cubed minus 3p squared q squared plus pq. Okay, first, figure out how many terms are there. Every time you hit a plus or a minus sign, that's a new term. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 terms. We're looking for terms that go together. So you're looking for letters raised to an exponent, and they have to be with other letters that are raised to that exact same exponent, the same letter. So if I just go from left to right, p squared, q squared, you're looking for other p squareds, q squareds. So look for p2, q2. So there is these two. Well, I have 3 of them, and then I have minus 3 of those. So they're going to get rid of each other. I'm going to have 0 of them. So when there's 0 of them, we don't need to write them. So they can actually just, you don't need to put them at all. If I had 3 p2 q2 and then I had negative 3 p2 q2, those, they're gone. Okay, p squared q cubed, p squared q cubed. So here, these two are like terms. And then I have this lonely one on the end. That's all by itself. There's no other PQs. This is just by itself. So it's still there. It doesn't go away. It just doesn't get combined with anything else. Okay, I want to put it in standard form. So from biggest degree. These like terms, 2 and a 3, 2 plus 3 is 5. So this has a degree of 5 because you add the exponents. This has a degree, there's an exponent on the p and the q, a 1 and a 1, so this has a degree of 2 because you add the exponents. So 5 is bigger than 2, so I'm going to put these terms first. Negative 3 of these and positive 4 of those. If I have negative 3 of them and positive 4 of them all together, I have positive 1 p squared q cubed. I don't need to put the 1 in front. If you put it there, it's fine. It's not wrong. So I use those, negative 3 plus 4. And then I have this guy that's just by himself, so just stick him on the end, plus PQ. Okay, number 8. AB minus a squared plus 4 squared minus 5ab plus 3a squared plus 10. And I'll read that again for you. AB minus a squared plus 4 squared minus 5ab plus 3a squared plus 10. Okay, the first thing you want to do is simplify anything. So 4 squared, simplify that first. 4 squared, that's 4 times 4, so that's really 16. So I'm going to write 16 in. So I'm just going to rewrite the whole thing, except I'm going to change 4 squared into 16. Then I'm going to chunk all my terms together. So there's a term, term. Okay, I want to put together like terms, so things that have the same exact letters with the same exponents. So I usually just start at the left and go across. Okay, AB. I'm looking for other terms that just have an A, and AB. That's it. So they have to have an A and a B. So this one has an A and a B. So here we have like terms. Okay, then I'm going to go to the next. I have an A squared. So I'm looking for anything else that also has an A squared on it. Right here has an A squared. So those are like terms. 16 and a 10, those are just constants. So they go, you can chunk those together. Those are like terms. Okay, we're going to write it in standard form. So by the biggest degree to the smallest degree. So AB, each one of those has an exponent of a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, so this has a degree of 2. A squared has a degree of 2. So they both have a degree of 2, so it does not matter which one you put first. I'm just going to put the ABs first. So if I have an AB and then I take away 5 ABs. So there was 1 and I took away 5. 1 minus 5 is negative 4 of the ABs. Make sure you're taking good notes. You're going to be working on an exit ticket in a little bit. And the last class, I walked around and half people have partial notes. I don't know what's going on. Okay, if I use them, I like to cross them off because it gets too confusing. Now I'm going to do my A squareds. I had negative 1a squared, and then I have a positive 3a squareds. So you're only combining the coefficients. A negative 1 and a positive 3, that makes positive 2a squareds. So the letter and the exponents, they don't combine. It doesn't become a to the 4th. It stays at a squared. You just combine the coefficients. And then last, your constants. Positive 16 plus 10 is 26. Okay, another one. Three times the quantity A plus B minus 6 times the quantity B plus C plus 8 times the quantity A minus C. Okay, we always want to simplify everything first, so go ahead and do your distributive property. There's 3 distributive properties to do. So take your 3 and distribute that. Take your negative 6, distribute that, and take your 8 and distribute. Okay, go ahead and do that. Okay, so when you did distributive property, you should have 3a plus 3b minus 6b minus 6c plus 8a, and double check, you should have minus 8c at the end, because 8 times negative c is negative 8c. Okay, if it helps you, chunk all your terms. Each time you hit a plus or minus sign, that's a new term. And combine your like terms. It looks like everything has a degree of 1, so I would just put stuff in alphabetical order. So do your A's first, then do your B's, then do your C's. Okay, go ahead and finish that one. Okay, final answer, 11A minus 3B minus 14C. It has 3 terms. It is a trinomial. Okay, now we're going to finish up with word problems. And the directions say to evaluate. Whenever you see evaluate, that means solve. So it wants a final answer when you're done. Okay, 4A. I'll read the problem and then we'll just write down the important information. A skyrocket is launched from a 6-foot high platform with an initial speed of 200 feet per second. The polynomial blah 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 gives the height in feet that the skyrocket will rise in t seconds. How high will the rocket rise if it has a 5-second fuse? So they give us the equation for the rocket. So the equation is negative 16t squared plus 200t plus 6. And it tells us that t stands for the time in seconds. Also, make sure your t does not look like a plus sign. Logan, don't go to the bathroom while I'm in the middle of teaching. Make sure your t looks like a t and not a plus sign so you're not getting confused later. Okay, the question says, how high will the rocket go if it has a 5-second fuse? So how high with a 5-second fuse? So 5 seconds, this is your t. So you're taking the equation and you're just substituting 5 in everywhere you see a t. So you're going to put this into your calculator. So into your calculator, you're putting negative 16 times 5 squared plus 200 times 5 plus 6. And go ahead and figure out what's the height of the rocket. So go ahead and put that in your calculator. I need everybody trying to do this on your calculator. So you're using the equation that they gave you, but you're substituting in 5 wherever you see the letter T for seconds. So the question is asking, how high will the rocket rise if it has a 5-second fuse? And when you plug it in, you should get exactly 606. So the rocket will launch up 606 feet into the air. So for these word problems today, it's going to give you the equation. It's really just having you plug in a number, substitute the number in and solve it. So use your calculator for these ones. Okay, let's do another one. Lisa wants to measure the depth of an empty well. She drops a ball from a height of 3 feet into the well and measures how long it takes the ball to hit the bottom of the well. The polynomial, blah, 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 gives the height of the ball after t seconds, where 0 is the initial speed of the ball and 3 is the initial height the ball was dropped from. Her stopwatch measured a time of 2.2 seconds. How deep is the well? Okay, so they gave us the equation for the well. It is negative 16t squared plus 0t plus 3. T is seconds, and it asks, the stopwatch went off at 2.2 seconds is when the ball dropped and hit the bottom of the well. So I want to know how deep the well is. So take the equation. You're going to substitute 2.2 in for t. So she dropped the ball, 2.2 seconds, she could hear the ball hit the bottom. Use your calculator. Just so you know, this 0 times 2.2, 0 times anything is 0, so I mean you can actually just take that out if you want. Okay, in the calculator, you're going to get a negative number. However, just keep in mind when you're answering this, when it says how deep is it, the well is basically underground, right? So it's not, you're not going to answer it as it's negative 74.44. You're going to say the well is 74.44 feet deep. You will have a question like this on HMH, so make sure you know to take the negative sign off because it's just asking how deep is the well. Is there anyone that had problems putting that into their calculator? If not, ask somebody next to you how to stick the exponents on there. Okay, you're going to do 2 by yourself. Number 9. I'm going to read it, and then you're going to work on it with a friend. Nate's client said she wanted the width, W, of every room in her house increased by 2 feet. And she wants the length, 2W, decreased by 5 feet. How's she going to have her house decreased by 5 feet? Good luck. The polynomial blah, 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 or blah, 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 gives the new area of any room in the house. The current width of the kitchen is 16 feet. What is the new area of the kitchen? So they give you 2 different equations you can use. Let's just use that second one. So use 2w squared minus w minus 10. They give you 2 equations. You can use either one. It says the current width of the kitchen is, right now, it's 16 feet. Okay, go ahead and calculate what's going to be the new area of the kitchen. So you're just substituting 16 into this equation, and then that's your answer. There's nothing else to do. It'll be 486. Or if it's the area, we say whatever the label is, feet squared. Questions on that one? Okay, last question we're doing. Number 10. A skyrocket is launched from a 20-foot high platform with an initial speed of 200 feet per second. If the polynomial, blah, 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 gives the height that the rocket will rise in t seconds, how high will a rocket with a 4-second fuse rise? So we have a rocket again. It gives us the equation negative 16t squared plus 200t plus 20. It has a 4-second fuse. Go ahead and calculate how high is that rocket going to get. Okay, you should have the rocket goes 564 feet into the air. Questions on that? Okay, for your HMH, you're going to want to make sure your notes are out because there's lots of stuff where it's asking about monomials, binomials, trinomials, and I know you guys just learned it yesterday, so it's probably not stuck in your brain yet. If you were absent yesterday, you really have to watch the video. It's very full of vocabulary. When you're working on HMH, I need everybody listening. You only get 5 chances, that's it. So don't come to me later and say, I've used up all my chances, it's not letting me do it again. Well, then clearly you either rushed through, you keep just trying to guess. I'm not giving you more chances. Stop rushing through your practice. If you don't know how to do something, first, check your notes. That's the first thing I say when I come near you. Well, check your notes. That looks like example, blah, blah, blah. Then, ask me, ask a neighbor. Don't just copy from somebody. Clearly it's not helping some of you because you get 100% on your HMH, but you're getting Fs on your tests. Obviously, your teachers know you're cheating. You're not slick. We just don't care. If you want to get 100% on your HMH scores aren't that big of a deal, guys. I don't know if you realize that. Like getting 100% on HMH doesn't do a whole lot for your grade. It's your test scores that matter. So that's why if you want to sit there and keep cheating on HMH, you're only shooting yourself in the foot. You're going to have to learn the material at some point. So please ask for help. If it's from a neighbor, that's fine. Or please ask me. That's literally what I do every day.